Alexa, turn on the downstairs lights. Alexa, turn off the cabinet lights. Alexa, turn on the garden lights. Alexa, ask Hayward to turn on the blower. Oh, good. Hey, today's tutorial is about putting some sweet smart devices in your home. In particular, we're going to be putting in some smart dimmers. There's so many good options out there. Philips Hue, Belkin, Lutron, Leviton, GE, Insteon, Legrand. But in particular today we're going to be using Lutron Smart Dimmers and we're going to be using Alexa to control them. I'm going to show you how to set everything up, and you can choose anything you want. I was originally gifted Alexa, but you can use Google Assistant or Siri as well. They both control smart devices in your home. And in my opinion, Lutron has the best smart dimmers on the market. One is their product's amazing, and two, they have a great customer support staff. Today I'm installing two smart dimmers, one for my front porch and then a second one for my outdoor garage lights. That'll be a three-way switch. I wanted to show you how easy it is to set it up yourself. All right, let's get started. Alexa, play some non-copyrighted music so I don't get in trouble on YouTube.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay, here's a list of things you may need for this project. Needle nose pliers, a wire stripper and cutter, Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and a voltage detector. Alright, first I'm just going to remove the cover really quickly, and then I'm going to go in the garage and turn off the circuit breaker so we don't get electrocuted. Okay, so we can see the power's off now. You can't see any lights. We already have a Lutron Smart Dimmer installed right here. This is the light we're going to do first. This is the outdoor foyer light. So let's pull the wires out. We need a Phillips head screwdriver. Now that we've removed our switch from the wall, first we're going to check to make sure that there's no electricity on. I wouldn't want to touch any of these wires behind here without checking first. And then second, we have our Lutron Caseta dimmer switch. It's going to be a pretty easy setup. There's just three wires. One's the ground, that's the green. One of these wires is the hot wire, which is where the electricity is coming in from, and then the other wire that goes out of here goes up to the light itself to turn the light on. Okay, I just checked all three wires here by putting my meter up, and nothing's lighting up, so I'm good to go. I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to cut the switch free of the wires. I just turned the electricity back on because I only wanted to show you what it looks like when the volt detector actually goes off. So I'm going to put my detector up to this wire. Okay, it's dead, which shows me that this is the wire that leads up to the light fixture. This is my ground, and that's my hot wire. Okay, so this is where the electricity is coming into the light switch. We're going to shut the power back off again. It doesn't really matter that we know that this is the hot wire and that this is called the load wire. The load wire is what runs the electricity up to the foyer light. Okay, this hot wire here is what runs electricity into the switch. Okay, I just shut it off and I'm putting my meter back up to this wire, the hot wire, and you can tell it's not going off, so we're good to go. I need to hook up my switch, and basically all you need to do is just hook one black wire to this one load wire, and then you need to hook up the other black cable to this one here, and then this one to and then the green one goes to the ground. What I have to do first is I'm going to strip this down to about the length of the wire that's stripped here. This is a 12 gauge wire, so I'm able to just use the little 12 setting on my wire stripper, pinch it, just pull, it comes right off. I'm just scratching off the paint on the end of my ground wire because I want to make sure there's a good connection there. Okay, so they gave us 3 wire nuts in the package, and we're going to need them since we didn't have any on here before. I'm going to take the first wire, and I'm just going to twist this wire around clockwise. It's soft enough that I can just get it right around that wire, and then I'm going to take one of my nuts here, and I'm going to screw it on clockwise. Okay, so now my hot wire's in. I'm going to take my second wire. This is the load wire. This is the wire that goes up to the light itself. ground here. It's pretty bent. This is where my needle nose pliers come in handy. And there we go. There's my hookup. You just want to make sure that this up is pointing up when you put it back in the wall. And also, because I'm going to be right next to another Lutron dimmer switch, what I want to do is I'm going to just take my pliers and I'm just going to remove this side here. I'm going to leave the outside because this is actually an outside switch, and I'm going to remove these on this side. And the manufacturer, Lutron, basically says that if you do remove these, it does lower the overall voltage that you're allowed to put on this switch, but we're not even going to be close to that limit, so it doesn't even matter. So I'm just going to take these off, and then it'll fit nicely onto the wall. So while I'm in here, let me just remove the other side too, because we're going to put another switch on the other side. Okay, you can see it's working. Get the lights on. Just dim the light a little bit. Dimmer's working well. Dimmed it just a little bit. Let's turn it off. It's off. Okay, I think this is a good spot for today's science lesson. Why do my LEDs still glow when the Lutron switch is turned off? It all starts with a backstory. But after all that night, I turned off the lights and the lights were still glowing. All the puck lights were still on in my house. First, I couldn't understand why my lights were still glowing, so I called Lutron, and they gave me a quick answer saying that there's 5 milliamps of current running through the switch so it can talk to the Lutron Smart Bridge. So for the purposes here, I set up a little schematic drawing of how a normal switch works and how a Lutron Caseta switch works. I apologize in advance that neutral is usually white, but in this case it's red on the whiteboard because I couldn't use white. The line wire flows right into the wall box. We have 3 wires. The hot wire that runs into the switch. When the switch is turned off, no electricity flows, but when the switch is on, electricity flows, which is called the load wire, up to the light. The red wire is the neutral wire that runs electricity back down to the circuit breaker. The green wire is the ground, which basically represents what it means. It runs the electricity down into the ground if there's some sort of surge of electricity somewhere. Now let's switch over to a Lutron Caseta switch. So this is actually how the switch is set up. The main difference is it's using a neutral wire that hooks right into the wall box. The reason for the neutral wire is because they do something called a reverse phase. Without getting into too much detail, they're basically chopping up electromagnetic waves and then using the neutral wire to put them back in phase. And that's why this particular electric low voltage switch needs a neutral wire. So normally what happens is the electricity flows up and through into the switch. When the switch is off, the circuit is open, so the electricity can't flow through to the light. But actually the way the Lutron Caseta dimmer works is it bleeds off 5 milliamps of current so the switch can remain on and can talk to the Lutron Smart Bridge, which is a hub that communicates with the Lutron app and allows the user in the house to control all the devices with voice control. What's happening here is 5 milliamps is bleeding off so that this has enough power to communicate with the Lutron Smart Bridge, and then that 5 milliamps is being dumped into the circuit and it goes up to the light. And because we have such energy efficient lights in our house, those flush mount puck lights, our puck lights are actually turning on and still glowing just because of that 5 milliamps of current. Lutron put out a piece called the LUT-MLC where it attaches into the neutral and the load wire. What it does, as electricity flows through, it bleeds off 6 milliamps of current, up to 6 milliamps of current, and feeds it back through down to your neutral, which goes back to your control panel. So instead, when the switch is off, that 5 milliamps of current that's flowing through will get absorbed right here by this little piece, send it back, and guess what? Your light will actually go off and you will have no lights on at all when the dimmer switch is off. In our house, we actually like the glowing lights so we don't run into things at nighttime. So there you go. That answers the question, why do my LEDs still glow when the Lutron switch is turned off, and gives you a solution on how to solve it if it's something that bothers you. I'm trying to keep my videos around 10 minutes long, so I'm going to cut this off here. This is the end of part 1. Watch part 2 to see the conclusion.
Handz for Hire is a mobile app connecting neighbors ready to lend a hand with neighbors who need a hand. Download now in the App Store or on Google Play. Visit us at handzforhire.com. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.